asynchronous operation. Why you want to go for asynchronous operation? Now, if you want to improve the performance of the application, we'll go for asynchronous operation. Let us see. In the Salesforce, there are 4 types of asynchronous operations what we have. One is future method, batch effects, schedule effects, queuable job. What are the 4 types of operation we have? Batch effects, schedule effects, future method, queuable job. Batch effects, schedule effects, future method, queuable job. There are 4 types of operations we have. Let us start with the first operation called future. Now, understand the theme of the story. I'll just give the theme. Understand the theme carefully. You'll understand what is the purpose of this feature. Let us say I have a telephone booth. I have a telephone booth. I have a group of people. I have a telephone. I have a group of people. At a time, how many people can get into the telephone booth? Only one person can get in, and only one person can speak for the speak. Only one person can get into the telephone booth, and only one person can speak. Now there are 6 people waiting in the queue. There are 6 people waiting in the queue. At a time, how many people can get in? Only one person. In which order they are going to call? The order in which they are standing in the queue, in the same order they are going to make a call. Am I right? People are standing in front of the telephone booth. People are standing in front of the telephone booth. People are standing in front of the telephone booth. They are in the sequence order. Now the point here is, this fellow want to make a call. He want to speak for 1 minute. He want to speak for 2 minutes. This guy, he want to speak to his girlfriend. He want to speak for 2 minutes. This guy, he also want to speak to his, let us say, wife. Now, this guy want to speak for 1 minute. These people are waiting in the queue. These people are waiting in the queue. There is a telephone booth. These people are waiting in the queue. These people are waiting in the queue. They are waiting for their turn to come. So when do they get the turn? Only when the first person is completed, then the second person is going to get the turn. Am I right or no? Unless the first person completes, second person will not get the turn. Because it's a sequence. It is a sequence. Unless the first person completes the task, second person will not get the turn to make a call. Unless the second person completes, third person will not get a turn to call. Then what happened? First person went, 1 minute completed. Second person went, 1 minute completed. Third person went boss. So 1 hour completed boss. This fellow not coming out. He was speaking to his girlfriend, 1 hour completed. The person who is standing next to him, he just want to speak for 2 minutes. He just want to speak for 2 minutes. But it is a sequential operation. Until the person who is standing in front of you, he complete your operation, I will not get met up. But the person who is standing in front of me, he has taken 1 hour. After 1 hour, the guy came out boss. Then this fellow got a turn. Then this fellow spoke for 2 minutes. The next is this fellow want to speak to, not listen to his wife. When you speak to your wife, you will not be talking, only listening. So this fellow went into the booth. He was listening to his wife. 1 hour completed boss, this fellow not coming. The last guy who is standing outside, he just want to make a call for 1 minute. How much time is waiting in the queue? What my point? He just want to make a call for 1 minute, but he is waiting in the queue for last 1.5 hour or 2 hours because it is a sequential operation. Until the statement 1 is completed, statement 2 will not get. Statement 2 is completed, statement 3 is executed because it is a sequential operation. Every transaction, every method, every transaction, every logic what we are writing, it is running in the top-down approach. The method or statements or logic, whatever I am writing, it is running in the top-down approach. When it is running in the top-down approach, until the first statement is completed, second statement will not get it done. Then, because of these 2 fellows, in the colony, these people are facing a problem. Always these people, there is only one telephone booth in the colony. Within the circle of 5 kilometers, there is no other telephone booth. So all these colony people are facing a problem because of these guys. Whenever these 5 guys are standing in the queue, they are consuming almost 1 hour time, where the other people are facing problem. Then what happened? These colony people purchased 2 mobile phones first. They funded some money, they purchased 2 mobile phones. And they told, boss, whenever you want to speak, don't stand in the queue, take this mobile and speak separately. So the colony people, they collected some fund and purchased 2 mobile phones, and they donated these mobile phones to these people. Boss, you don't come and stand in the queue, you take these mobiles and speak how much time you want, because the rest of the people are getting disturbed. Then what happened? These 2 people are running separately. Now how many operations are running at a time? 3 operations. One is in the telephone book, 2 people are running on 2 different mobiles. At a time, how many operations are running? 3 operations. Now, this fellow who is speaking to his girlfriend, he wants to speak for 1 hour. Any issue for other people? No issue. You take 1 hour or 2 hours or whole day, we are not worried, because you are not going to disturb us. If you run those 2 people separately, what is happening? Rest of the statement is running faster. Rest of the operation is running faster, because the people who are speaking for a longer time, we are not allowing them to run along with us. Then what is happening? This is running very faster. Within how much time the operation is completing? Within 5 minutes the operation is getting completed. The rest of the people, you take a phone and talk to your girlfriend or wife, we are not worried. You take 1 hour or 2 hours, because you are not dependent upon us. We are not depending on you. So what is this? When any one of the statement is taking longer time, if any one of the statement is taking longer time, if you are running those statements along with the rest of the transaction, then the transaction will execute in longer time. The transaction will take longer time. If any one of the statement in the transaction, is taking longer time, if you execute the statement along with the rest of the statements, entire operation will be delayed. Did you get my point? So I have a method with 10 statements. Okay. Then in that, one of the statement is taking a longer time. If I run that statement along with the rest of the statements, the entire operation will be delayed. That is the reason they said, boss, if any one of the statement is taking longer time, don't run that statement in the transaction. Run it independently, so that rest of the statement will not be delayed. Rest of the transaction will not be delayed. Did you get my point? If any one of the statements in the transaction is taking more time, don't run the statements along with the transaction, run them separately, like this. First statement, second statement, third statement is taking 1 hour, fourth statement, fifth statement is taking half an hour, sixth statement, 1 minute. So the third statement is taking 1 hour, so don't allow this person to run along with you, ask him to run separately. Did you follow this point here? Similarly, same concept programmatically. Any one of the statement taking more time, 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 don't run those statements within the transaction, run them independently. Run them independently means parallelly. Don't run 1, 2, 3. Don't run 1 after 1, 2 after 2, 3. Previously, how we are running? Sequentially. Sequential means first 1 completed, 2 completed, 3 completed. This is sequence. Unless 1 is completed, we are not going to 2. When you say asynchronous, 1, 2, all 3 are running parallel. If all of them are running parallel, what will happen? It will take less time to complete the task. It takes the less time to complete the task. Am I right or not? So if they are running parallel, it is called asynchronous. If they are running parallel, they are called asynchronous. If they are running parallel, they are called asynchronous. Are you clear about this? You got the theme of the story? Within a method, if any one of the statement is taking longer time, run that statement independently from the rest of the transaction, so that operation can run faster. Now the question is, which operations will take longer time? I told any statements which will take longer time. Which operations will take longer time? First one, bulk DML operations. I am trying to update 10,000 records. When you are trying to update 10,000 records, automatically what happens? It will take more time. When I am trying to update 10,000 records, automatically what happens? It takes more time. More time means if it takes 5 seconds also, it's more time only. In a transaction takes 5 seconds or 7 seconds, it's also more time. Like I am making a web service call. When I am making a web service call, request should go from your computer to external system. External system has to implement, give back the response. Response came in 35 seconds. Response came in 35 seconds. It's a delayed operation. Right? If I'm waiting in the queue for 1 minute, 1 minute to get the response, then obviously it's what? Delay operation. It's obviously what? Delay operation. When you're opening a Google, if it takes hardly 5 seconds or 10 seconds, immediately what do? That is working, not working fast. Am I right? I click on a link. Link will take hardly 5 minutes. If it's net is running slow, hardly it may take 5 to 10 seconds. If net is running slow, hardly takes 5 to 10 seconds. If it's taking 5 to 10 seconds, what we are saying? Boss, net is not working faster. Same thing happened with the transaction. So when is that operation taking more time? Which operations are taking more time? If you are making a web service calls, if you are working with a bulk data means thousands of record, billions of record. If you are working with a billions of record, thousands of record, they will take more time. Okay, these operations will take more time. So any one of the statement in the transaction taking longer time, any one of the transaction, any one of the statements in the transaction taking longer time, then we are going to use asynchronous operation to handle it. What is that asynchronous operation? We are using future method. What we are using? Future method. What are you using? Future method. What are we using? Future method. Let me demonstrate the example. Theme is clear? People got the theme why we are going for a future method? People are clear? Theme is clear for everyone? Okay. Let us go back. I will execute a simple example to demonstrate what is the purpose of this. Then we will go for use case. I created a show. I create a method show one. Right. This is method 1. Here I am creating one more method. Understand the theme clearly, boss. Understand the need of it. Understand the need of it. Get the clear idea about what is synchronous, what is asynchronous. Right. So here I am calling line number 1, 2, 3, line number 4, 5, 6. Right. When I say transaction, what do you mean by transaction here? So line 1, line 2, line 3, call me 1, call me 2, call me 3, call me 1, call me 2, call me 3, line 1, line 2, line 3, call me 1, call me 1, call me 1, then line 4, line 5, line 6, line, okay, display 1, display 2. Am I right? It is a sequential operation. When you say sequence operation, what will happen? First this has to execute, next line, third line, line 1, line 2, line 3, then call. call me 1, call me 2, call me 3, line 4, line 5, line 6, display 1, display 2, then line number 7. Am I right? So it is a sequential operation. Let me execute and show how to execute this. I executed a few dots. Let us see what is the output we are getting. So show line 1, line 2, line 3, call me 1, call me 1, call me 1, line 4, line 5, line 6, display 1, display 2. It is a sequential operation. It is a sequential operation. It is a sequential operation. Now, I want to run them parallel. If you want to run them parallel, what should I do? We have to make that method as feature method. How do you make a method as a feature? At the rate of feature. At the rate of feature. Feature method should be defined with the at the rate of feature. Method should be what? Static. At the rate of feature, method should be what? Static. Now I define this method as what? Feature. When you define this method as a feature, what will happen? This will not run along with the remaining statement. This will run separately. That call method will not run along with the show. So entire show will run like one set, call will run like another set. So what is the output? Line 1, line 2, line 3, 4, 5, 6, display 1, display 2, 7. So what is the output? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, display 1, display 2, 7. Call will run independently. If you define any method as a feature, don't run along with the remaining transaction. It will run, but it will not run along with the transaction. It will run independently from the transaction. It will not run along with the transaction. It will run independently from the transaction. There is a reason what is the output we are getting. Let me execute and show. So what is this? Call me 1, call me 1, call me 1. Why it is running separately? It is running separately, right? The remaining transaction is running separately. This is running separately. Why? Because it is a feature method. If you define any method as a feature method, that method will run independently from the remaining. How do you know it is running independently or not? How do you know it is running independently or not? Go to setup. Go to monitor. Jobs. Here we are finding what? Go to the effects job. Then you are able to see. There is a feature method which is running. The name of the feature method is call. Method is call from feature itself. Are you getting my point? So if you define any method as a feature method, it will run independently from the remaining transaction. It will run independently from the remaining transaction. It will run independently from the remaining transaction. People have followed this point? People have followed? Now the question is, how to define the feature method? How to define the feature method? How to define the feature method? Let us see. If you want to define the feature method, it has to obey the following rules. First, every feature method should be static. Every feature method should be static. Then, every feature method should have at the rate of feature notation. Every feature method should have at the rate of feature notation. Feature method accepts only primitive parameters. Feature method accepts only primitive parameter. Why only primitive parameter? I told you, it accepts only primitive parameter. Now why only primitive parameter? Why it is not accepting non-primitive? Then understand. Why only primitive? Why it is not accepting non-primitive? Suppose I have a table here. Understand the theme. The reasons for holy primitive. Name, phone. I have a record. Now, this person clicked on a button. This person clicked on a button. When I click on a button, method is called. What that method is doing? Writing a software query. Select. You wrote a software query. When you wrote a software query, what is the data he got? Name equal to Satish, phone number equal to 111. He received this data. Suppose show method is a future method. Show is a future method. Now what is passing? AGC, record is passing. Now when I say asynchronous operation, when you call any operation as asynchronous operation, it will go and register in the queue. There will be a queue. There will be a queue. Whenever you call any asynchronous operation, that is not going to run immediately. That is going to be added to the queue. That is going to be added to the queue. Now what happened? In the queue, already someone has called show. Job 1 is pending. Job 2 is pending. Then you call show. When you call show, now the show is added. So whenever you call asynchronous operation, they are not instant operation. They will go to the queue, add it to the queue. Now, if there are no pending jobs, in the queue, if there are any pending jobs, I have to wait until I get my turn. In the queue, if there are any pending jobs, I have to wait until I get my turn. Suppose that job 1, job 2, job 3, job 4 are also running on account. Right? So they have taken, the job is taking 30 minutes. Let us assume 30 minutes they are taking. So I will execute after what time? 30 minutes. Because you are in the queue. When you are in the queue, I cannot say when you will execute. You may execute instantly, after 1 minute, after 5 minutes, after 10 minutes, after 1 hour, after 24 hours. I am not sure. You are added to the queue, you are waiting in the queue. Asynchronous operations are not executed instantly. They are added to the queue. In the queue, based on the availability of resources, they will execute. Now, let us assume they are taking 30 minutes. This is Shah. Meanwhile, Ram logged in. There is one more user called Ram. He logged in. So, when the job is added to the queue, Ram logged in. So, what is the data he passed? He called a show method. Already he has written a query, took the data. Written a SQL query, took the data. What is the data he has taken? Satish. With the data called Satish 111, it is waiting in the queue to get its turn. Already it has collected the data. What is the data it has collected? While it is collecting the data, in the database, what is the data it has? Satish 111. It collected the data, standing in the queue, collected the data, standing in the queue, waiting for its turn. Collected the data, standing in the queue, waiting for its turn. Okay. Now, after 2 minutes, Ram logged in. He clicked on a button. When he clicked on the button, then what happened? The button what is doing? Account A equal to. Then he was updating phone number equal to. Update AC. After how much time? 2 minutes. Okay. After 30 minutes, show method is going to run. With what data show method is running? With what data show method is running? Satish 111. Because it's already collected data. I collected the data standing in the queue. When I was standing in the queue, any changes you are making in the database, I will not be knowing. I already came to you, collected the data, I was standing in the queue. When I was standing in the queue, now you are supposed to execute immediately. Now what did I do? I thought that you will execute immediately. But you collected the data, waiting in the queue, it took 1 hour for you to execute. Meanwhile, within this 1 hour, some modifications happened in the database. Now what is the data that is available? Satish 9999. But what is the data you are collecting? Satish 111. So you are going to execute your logic with what? Satish 111. But with what logic you have to execute? Satish 999. But what happened? Mismatch. Mismatch. There is a reason they suggest don't use SObjects as a parameter. In the feature method will not accept what? Feature method will not accept what? SObject. Why? Because the changes which are made on the database will not be reflected to the jobs which are waiting in the queue. The changes what you made on the database, they will not be reflected back to the jobs which are pending in the queue. That is the reason they say don't pass any SObject, only pass variables. Only pass primitive variables. That is the reason future method accepts. Team is clear? People got the point? Any query? Any query for anyone? People have got my point? You took the data, you are standing in the queue. Unfortunately, I expected that you will be completing the task within 1 minute, but you took 10 minutes to complete the task. Okay, within this 10 minutes, what happened? Somebody modified. The modification what the people have done, you don't know it. Still you are working with the old data. Then what happened? The information is mismatch. That is the reason they say don't use non-primitive data members as pass parameters. Don't use SObject as a parameter. Use only primitive parameters. Are you clear? Right. Let us go to the next one. Feature method, they say return type of the feature method. What is the return type of the feature method? Feature method return type is going to be void. Feature method return type is going to be void. Feature method return type is going to be void. Are you clear about this? Okay. Now, once again, understand the thing. Try to understand the thing. There is a user. So, he clicked on a button. Right. In the submit method, what did I give? I have a class example. So I have at the rate of like this we have. So when you click on the submit button, what is happening? Show method is called. When you click on this, submit method is called. When you submit the button, submit method is called. There are different users. Sham, Ram. Because in the organization there are a number of people. The logic is not only designed for Sham, logic is not only designed for Ram, logic is not designed for Kiran. All of them are end users. When those people clicked, Sham clicked, what happened? It is a queue. When Sham clicked on the button, it is a queue. Automatically what happened? Any asynchronous job that is running in the Salesforce, that will be registered with async effects. Any asynchronous job that is running in the Salesforce, that will be registered with the object called async apex job object. Any asynchronous job that is running in the Salesforce, that will be registered with async apex job object. Any asynchronous operation that is running in the Salesforce, that will be registered with async apex job object. I repeat, any asynchronous operation that is running in the Salesforce, that is registered with async apex job object. When you click on the submit button, what happened? Job will be registered. Again, Ram also clicked on the button called submit. When the Ram click, again call me is going to one more call is registered. When Kiran submitted, again one more asynchronous operation. So every time an asynchronous method is called, it is going to be registered with what? Async apex job object. Now, how do you know who called which method? That is the reason. When Sham called this submit button, we created ID, job ID 01. Then he called job ID. When he called job ID. For every job there is an ID because it's a async apex job object is a object. Whenever a new record is created, it will get a 18 character ID. In a table, whenever you create a new record, what will happen? 18 character ID will be issued. What that 18 character ID is nothing but a record ID. Okay, that ID is nothing but a job ID. Now, if you know the job ID, it is easy for me to find out whether my job is completed or not completed. Now, Sham want to know whether job is completed or not completed. What is the data type of this? What? That means it is not going to give you any value back. It is going to run, but no value is given. Sham want to know whether job is completed or not completed. How does he know? How does he know? Now, you want to know based on the class name. But on the class name, there are 3 jobs running. On the class name, there are 3 jobs running. All the Sham called the same button, Ram called the same button, Kiran called the same button. Now, what happened? Same class, example class call, example class call, example class call. You want to verify based on feature? All the 3 are feature only. All the 3 are feature only. All the 3 methods are call only. All the 3 methods belongs to same class only. Then how do you find out your job ID? So, when you are giving a return type as void, future method has return type as void, which means anyone who is calling the feature method, it is not going to give you job ID. Job ID is there in the queue. Job ID is there in the async apex job object. ID is created. But you are not giving the ID back to the person who is calling you. If you give back that ID, it is easy for that guy to find out what is the status of the job. If you say, Sham, you call me, this is the ID of the job. Whenever you want to find out the status of me, use this ID and find out the status. If I give the job ID, it is easy for the person to find out. But when Sham called, am I giving the job ID? I am not giving the job ID. Why? Because the return type of the feature method is void. So, because of this, whoever is calling the feature method, for him, I am not going to return the job ID. If you return the job ID, it is easy for me to find out the status. But the feature method is not going to return you any job ID. Why? Because the return type is what? Void. But still, if you want to find out the status, go to async apex job, write your own custom logic and find out. There are 2 things, boss. If you know job ID, one person knows the job ID, other person don't know the job ID. Who can find out the status easily? If you know the ID of the record, straight away give the ID, we get the details. If you don't know the ID of the record, what should I do? I would write my own custom logic to see how to get the ID of the record and track the status. Which is easier? Right? If you have a job ID, it is easier. But what the feature method is doing? Is it giving the job ID? It is not giving the job ID. It is a drawback of it. It is a drawback of feature method. Second drawback, is it accepting the S object as a parameter? S object is not accepting. Why it is not accepting? Because asynchronous operations are not going to run instantly. They are going to add it to the queue. From the queue they are going to run. We cannot guarantee when they are going to execute. That is the reason state of the data is not maintained. That is the reason they say don't use any S object as parameter. Don't use any S object as parameter. People have followed these points, right? Tell me advantage of feature method. It can run independently from the rest of the transaction. Okay, it can run independently from the rest of the transaction. It's the advantage. They are useful for what? Useful for what? Handling long running operation. Name some long running operation. Web service calls, bulk operation. Bulk means list of records. On a list of record, DML. On a list of record, logic. They're called bulk operation. Larger set of data. Drawbacks of feature method. It will not support S object. It is not going to return you job ID. It is not going to return you job ID. Okay. Any asynchronous job that is running, where is the job registered? Async Apex job. Any asynchronous job that is running, where it is registered? Async Apex job. Once it is registered, job ID we are going to find. I can write a SQL query on that and find out the status of the job. Am I clear with this format? People have followed? Clear? Clear for everyone? Clear for everyone? For practice, let us take one quick example. Create a Apex class. Create a Apex class, account handler with a feature method show. Create a Apex class, account handler with a feature method show. Online people, you also try out the syntax.